So I'm going to go in through the process of actually listing a website. First, I want to explain some of the websites to you. So the most popular one out here is Flippa. That's flippa.com. It's a very large website for sale marketplace. You can use it for niche research and you can also use it for selling your website as well. EmpireFlippers.com, I mentioned them on the previous slide when I was talking about the valuation. They tend to go off that valuation where you do the last 3 months of the net profit and multiply that out by 20. That tends to be what they do when they sell their site, and they're very successful at what they do. So, who am I to argue with exactly what they're saying? Everybody's got a different formula, though. That's the fascinating thing when it comes to selling a business online. EmpireFlippers.com, that is their website here. Websitebroker.com. This is another site that you could sell your website on. BizBuySell.com. BizBuySell.com. Believe it or not, this is a marketplace where you can actually buy like convenience stores and real estate businesses and entire businesses that come with physical property, but you can actually find and buy website businesses. And you'll notice people have businesses that are listed for businesses that could be run from home, and a lot of those are website businesses. And so BizBuySell is a great place to list a website asset, and it's kind of neat because there's not a lot of competition for other websites for sale. Like on Flippa, it's just websites. Empire Flippa, it's just, or Empire Flippers, it's just websites. Website Broker, obviously, it's just websites. And so bizbuysell.com, you could actually list your website business with very little competition and get a very unique quality kind of person, because people browsing BizBuySell tend to have a little more money up front. They tend to be a little more, comfortable with spending money online. And that's one thing to keep in mind, though, is that if you're going to go through like BizBuySell, you want to make sure that your site's making in that range of $1,500 a month in profit, for example, or $1,000 a month in profit before you really pursue this one. You could also try listing here because it does cost you, it's about $100 to list here. But if maybe you're earning $500 a month profit and you're trying to get $6,000 to $10,000 for your website, this might be a good option for you. So if your website's worth between $5,000 or more, you may want to consider listing it on BizBuySell. If it's only worth $2,000 to $3,000, I would stick with Flippa or try Empire Flippers or one of those other sites. Quiet Light Brokerage, this is another popular site that people wanting to sell their business through, they go here. Now, this site, these guys are actual website brokers, so they're website for sale, experts. And they're probably going to use their own unique proprietary formulas, they'll probably call it. But what you can do is you could actually get in touch with them if you have a business that's doing, I would say about 1,000 or more a month in profit. These guys may be able to help you sell it. If anything less than that, or if you have a site that maybe it's not making a lot of money, but it has a large amount of visitors and it's been around for quite a while, that may be something that they would want to consider brokering. But when you do a broker deal, you're paying them 10 to 20, sometimes 30% of whatever the selling price is. Most of the time it's probably 10%. It just depends on the different website broker, but they're actually out there kind of like a real estate broker, but they're selling your website. And this is more for if you have a website that's been around a while. Maybe you have an e-commerce site that is making $100,000 a year in revenue, and it's, after the profit, it's maybe worth 50 to 75,000. And you are looking for a little higher quality visitor that may not be hanging out on Flippa. So you could go to these guys and set up an arrangement and give them 30 to 45 days to sell it. So this is more of a strategy if you have a larger website, kind of like listing on BizBuySell as well. So I'm going to go through the process now that I introduced you to these other websites. Flippa.com is the easiest one to do it, by yourself. You're not having to deal with third parties like you are with the other sources. Empire Flippers is a pretty good one, but there is some, they do review your site and they may or may not accept it. Whereas with Flippa, they're going to accept most websites that you list on here. And so this is a good one, especially for those starting out with website flipping. So if you go here to Flippa.com, and what we're going to see here is just kind of an image of different websites that have sold, so you can kind of see how the Flippa system works. So one of the first things you want to do here is go over here at the top right hand corner where it says sell, and you want to click on that sell button. And I'm just put up an example niche website that I have. Then I just kind of threw together some numbers and I went ahead and put it in here. So I just went in and typed in my domain. It asked me what the domain name is of the site I want to sell. So I put in csshowto.com. What kind of website is it? This is where you would mark, is it a blog? Is it a review site? Is it a content site, a directory, a forum, e-commerce? Do you sell services? Is it a web application? Is it a other? So that's where you could put in, whatever your website is. And in this case, we'll just call it a blog here, and then we'll click on next. Next, you're taken over to this page where it's going to ask you to verify your traffic with Google Analytics. I recommend you use Google Analytics not only to see what your traffic is doing. It's great to know how much traffic you actually have. It's a reliable tracking tool. It tells you, if you have problems with people bouncing off your website quickly and leaving your site, it tells you what pages people are visiting the most. Google Analytics gives you extremely valuable information. So what you want to do is verify your traffic with Google Analytics, and you could also enter your traffic manually, but if you verify your traffic with Google Analytics, it's going to increase your chances of selling on Flippa tremendously because people really like and trust the Google Analytics system. So it's very, very, important that you maybe consider listing with Google Analytics, because if you verify your traffic, you're going to have a verified badge with which will really inspire confidence in your buyers. And so when you are doing the traffic, consider doing Google Analytics right there. As far as revenue goes, you could mark, does the site generate revenue, yes or no. If you select yes, you could choose what monetization methods are used. You could say AdSense or Amazon, so you have affiliate links. Are you drop shipping items? Is it ClickBank? Do you have a physical product or a information product that you're selling through ClickBank? Is it an e-commerce web store with drop shipping, a subscription service like a membership site? So point out what your revenue is. The pitch, this is a great part. They kind of actually fill it in for you. So this website I was selling, it happens to be a PageRank 2 website with 3,000 unique visitors a month. So that headline there is actually pretty good because people like to have websites with a page rank and like to have websites with unique visitors already going to it. So you could stick with that, or you could call it something else. One thing I like to do is go through some of the previous sold listings, and you can do a search in the advanced search feature to look at past websites that have sold on Flippa and look at what their subject line is, especially the ones that are getting a lot of bids and a lot of attention. So what you could do here is put in a summary, kind of a short paragraph as to what this website is. A sentence or two would be plenty there. And then in the description, be very descriptive as far as how your website makes money, a brief history, and they actually tell you things to include, like what technology is used. It's things that are included like domains, an email list, social media accounts, your plan for the transaction, the reason that you're selling. That's an important one. A lot of times people want to know a reason, and they get very skeptical if you don't have a good reason. And a good enough reason could be that you're just ready to move on. You're moving on to another niche market and ready to give this website, a chance for somebody else to succeed at it. Or you could say, I'm in the business of building websites and turning around and selling them. Whatever your reason is, be very honest about it, because it's going to actually instill confidence in your buyers for you. Next thing you want to do, you'll be taken after the pitch, which is where you put in your description and your tagline or your title. The tagline becomes the title for the listing, and then your summary. You're going to go ahead and put in the sale. So this is where your auction is going to run for, let's say, 14 days. That's a good baseline. It's a good time to run it. And then you set your reserve price. Is it, $300? Or if you're using the method that I used previously, you set your reserve price. Maybe your site is making $100 a month. So you could use that formula, and let's say you want to list it for $3,000 reserve or $2,000 reserve. And that would be a good starting point. Look at the payment methods you'll accept. So for sales under 5,000, you could accept escrow.com and PayPal. You could just select one of those or both of them. People like to work with escrow.com. It's very popular and it's a very seamless transaction. So after they purchase the website from you, they are taken to escrow.com, where they would actually send the money to escrow.com. Escrow sends you a notification saying, hey, the money is in escrow, transfer the files. You transfer the files. They confirm that they were transferred, and the money is released right back into your possession and your account, and you no longer have the website. It's a very seamless process, protects both the buyer and seller. So I would recommend accepting escrow, and for the lower end websites under 5,000, I would take PayPal as well if you have a PayPal account. That way you're giving your potential buyers multiple ways to pay you. So next thing you want to do is going to offer to promote if you want to promote this package further. So it'll say promote your listing to reach more buyers. Obviously, the first one there is probably the highest value solution. They call it ultra premium, and they say you can get up to 40 times the view on your listing and 5 times the bids. And so what they'll do is they'll actually email it to all their subscribers. It's going to be on top of the normal listings, dedicated premium support, and then it's going to be tweeted out there, a screenshot, highlighted listings. And so this is probably the best value package that they say, because if you were to purchase all these things separately, it would cost a certain amount of money. And you can scroll on down on the promote page to find different offers to go with. Most of the time, these are more the basic add-ons you could do. So you could do a homepage feature listing. You could do a tweet one. You could bold your title, which really does make it stand out. Do a spotlight listing and those types of things. But the most important thing you can do is, just to list the site, just the general listing fee is $19 with Flippa. So you're going to have to go ahead and pay Flippa. You could pay with credit card or you could pay with PayPal, and then you're able to take care of that. Once you pay for your listing goes live and it's ready to be sold. So in the next video, we're going to kind of wrap up this niche marketing process so you understand your next steps so you can get out there and start making money with your own niche business.